Hello and welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben and thank you for joining me. We have 1 hour, 30 minutes and change remaining. I still don't know what I'm going to do with my side, which is probably a very good indication that I'm going to make the wrong decision. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably on that reverse trade kind of, borderline there. So wish you luck with whatever you decide. I just want to kind of go over a few things from yesterday. So the round 3 headache, this is proving to be a little bit of a dilemma. Once again, I do not like finding out teams the day before, which is very frustrating. So, but we can only do with what we can. Now, the one thing I do want to touch on briefly is looking at starting sides, right? There are 2 ways to play it. Now, in this situation, you can go hell to the leather, all about the cash, go risk it for the biscuit. Part of me is a little nervous because I said that last year, risk it for the biscuit, and I went with Zach Williams from GWS, and I lost big time. So, sometimes it's not always good to risk it for the biscuit. Taylor Walker could be the exact same thing. A little bit of the headache part, though, is a little caution. Make sure if you bring in Tex, make sure if you're a Caldwell owner, I'm completely fine with it. Tom Phillips, yes, he didn't do well, but I feel like he's a little bit better than that, so you can kind of hold there. Stevenson, if you just brought him in last week, unlucky. You're going to probably have to hold him there because don't be stupid. Don't burn 2 trades on the same Muppet. So I think the one thing you need to make sure is if you are bringing in Tex, you want to have some cash in the bank or have a plan to get rid of him as soon as possible. A quick cash grab. The only reason I'm considering Tex is because they do play North Melbourne next week. I think Gold Coast are actually a pretty good side. I can't see him going too huge. Maybe an 80 or a 90 for Tex hopefully would be good. North Melbourne could be possibly where it's at. So it's going to be interesting. But even then you have Core and a few others down there. So it's going to be an interesting one. If he kicks more than 3 goals, he should set himself up really well. If he only kicks a couple, he could definitely just rock out a 60 and absolutely hurt everyone. So that's the interesting one there. First things, if you don't have Goulden, he needs to come into your side ASAP. I think 25% of people still don't have him. I don't understand why. He is your priority number 1. Then I would say after that, Campbell has to be priority number 2. You need to have Campbell. He needs to be in your side as well. Powell, Berry, Jordan, all good options. You should all be considering them. But again, not quite as essential. They're chipping away. They're going to make cash and they are great. However, Goulden, Campbell are going to be making a stack of cash. Warner, I think if you have got most of the other guys, I'd be definitely trying to bring him in because, again, that 94, that's in his second round as well. I think the first one didn't go as well. It was raining, so, it wasn't probably the best game for, forwards of that like. So I think he's definitely someone who can improve. A good score in the second round, same as Campbell, good score in that second round, same as Impey in that second round. And the best thing about that is because their first round score kind of cycles out a bit quicker, so a good score in that second and third round are really pivotal for early cash generation. That's why I'm not too worried about Neil's bad score in round 1 because it's going to be out of his price cycle too quickly. The problem is he's had now 2 bad scores in a row. So the third one, if he has another poor one tonight, I'm not sold that he's 100%, which is really concerning me because the coach is like, oh, he should be fine and seems to be okay. Not great news there. And normally Fagan's pretty good, right? But I don't think he's going to say, oh, by the way, he's struggling because then all of a sudden someone's definitely going to tag him. So I think he'll try and be positive to try and make it seem like, oh, he's fine, so opponents won't put too much pressure into him, hopefully. We'll see. Also, slight rumours that he might even be a late out, which I'm hoping not because I think that could be just hearsay at the moment. So, interesting there. Sharpie not named. If you have like a Sharp or a Kaczynski, a Sharp or a Henry or someone, people that aren't played, just hold them for now. Unless you're missing someone that is so crucial that you can just sideways and correct that trade. There's no point in moving on Sharp or someone to another sketchy, like a Bergman or something or other. Don't do that. Just leave it, get those key players, and then move on from there. So I think that's the interesting part. So this is what I'm considering with my side right now, and I know it's really strange and it's really bad. And again, if you are going to risk it on Tex, and part of me feels like risk it for the biscuit. It didn't work last year, might do it this year. B, I also don't mind it for the bants. If I go for Tex and Chris doesn't, then I either get to brag and give him a lot of flack, or on the opposite side, I just create that banter on myself, and I can take a self payout. I am not too concerned with copying some attention from Chris. The only problem with Chris is that when he's up and about, he lets you know about it every single second. As you can see from his winning 2 rounds of his bet, he lets everyone know multiple times because that's what Chris is like. Just like on poker, if he's ahead at poker, he is so chirpy, he's so up and at 'em. But if you take his money twice, all of a sudden, Chris, you never hear from him. And when I won all those bets, Chris, when I win all those bets, I don't heckle you all the time, Chris, right? Just deal with it. So I'm a little bit of a pickle. This is my pickle. Now, this is what I am considering going with, and I could definitely change this in the next 90 minutes. The smart decision for me, I have Caldwell. If you have Caldwell and you are going to get rid of Lachie Neale, you should be trying to go trade 2 of those players if you want to get rid of him and bring in 2 premiums. The smart decision for me, Oliver and Ridley. Smart. My concern, though, is Oliver might get tagged by De Boer. And I'm hoping he kind of does, and I don't want to bring him in because I'm hoping he will drop cash in the next few weeks. He's still inflated. I don't want to be paying $650,000 for a Clary. I really don't. And I want him in my side because he's durable and he's got a good ceiling, and they're playing North and Adelaide coming up, and he will towel up those games. So what I'm considering is something left field, which I would shoot myself for normally, but Tex Walker, I'm thinking about taking a massive cash grab. Have a look at that, $379,000, which is horrible, because you never want to have cash on your bench. But here's my plan. So I sideways to Ridley. Ridley is a premium, so I'm going to be happy with him there. What I plan on doing is that in 3 to 4 weeks' time, I plan on double upgrading Tex to Clary, Tex to Neale if he pulls his finger out. And then I will then be able to go, say, Jordan Clark to another premium. I will be able to afford 2 players at that 600K mark. So if Clary drops down, I'm happy there. So Tex, if he gets to 450K, like I'm hoping, then I can 150K up, and I've got myself 600,000 for a premium. Now, if Jordan Clark gets himself up to 350, I've now got another 230, so I can get $580,000 to bring in a Dangerfield or to bring in someone else, and all of a sudden just look really strong in most of my lines. The reason I'm considering this is because it's hard to get people that are 600,000 plus. You either start them and try and upgrade and downgrade 1,000 rookies to get there, or chances are you actually look past them because there's so many cheaper options and you have to go for cheap. So say Zach Merritt, if he gets down to 500, you're bringing him in. You're not spending 650,000 on Neale if you can get a Zach Merritt for 500,000. It just doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm considering doing this little bit different play, because I can get the players I want, take that early cash grab, be really aggressive, and it's either going to work out amazingly or it's going to backfire. So I guess it's going to depend on the situation you're in. And I know, so Lekdog's just killing it at the moment. If I was him, I'd probably just sit still and not do anything at all. I've had a couple of injury issues, so I'm really just trying to maneuver a couple things early and then hoping to sit pretty after that. That is my hope. So let me know what you think. Are you with me? Are you with me in this torn headache that you have for round 3? I mean, teams are literally about to drop. I'm hoping Scott's named. I'm hoping everything's fine there. Fingers crossed that not much changes. I think the other dilemma is Patrick Cripps. I'm seeing people sideways. Cripps to Brayshaw. I see the appeal. It's recency bias. Brayshaw looks good. I wouldn't be doing it. Again, Cripps has a big ceiling. If you're not happy, wait till later. Wait till after the buy at least. If you trade him after the buy, at least you're going to maximize, that extra premium score to then make it worth 100 points. Because if there's 10 rounds left at the end of the season and you're trading him and getting an extra 100 instead of a donut for say, then if Brayshaw averages you 105 and Cripps averages you 100, then you can actually maximize and get an extra 5 points per game for the last 10 rounds just by trading after that buy. So it's an interesting one. My maths are probably a little bit skewed there, but I'm sure you can understand what I mean. The idea is that you can then try and just pick the right times with some of these guys. And that's probably my advice. Don't sideways on people who are still playing. The only reason Neil is definitely a consideration is because of how expensive he is. The second most expensive player with 275s around that mark, dropping cash. Now, the reason I'm tempted and I'm leaning to getting rid of him is because knowing my luck, I would hold, and he might go okay today. He might go okay tonight. But he didn't look great at training. Fagan didn't really sell me on the fact that he's okay. They're kind of hoping he'll be all right. And I think it's going to be a little bit one of those, if he cops another little hit, he could be rested for a week, or he just might, I don't know. It's one of those things, because if you have a sore back, and that covers everything. You're picking the ball up, you're kicking, everything comes into that back. So it's one of those niggles where he might get through, but I don't know if he's going to be 100%. So it's one of those ones where it kind of leans each way, to be honest, and I'm just absolutely spitballing here. Braun as well is the other one. Now, if you have, say, Braun and you're not sure about, Jordan, etc., you could actually kind of wait and see, because, when you look at the last round, you're looking at, Hawks and Cats, Giants and Melbourne. So if, Brockman should be fine, but you might even see if you have a Downey in your side and you're thinking about going from Downey to Jordan, then you might actually be able to just wait and see, because Downey might get named. And if he's named, there's no point in you actually getting rid of him at all. You might as well pick someone else. Same with Braun. You might be happy there, but then you can actually wait and see. If you're looking at getting rid of one of those guys for Jordan, just wait. You might as well wait and see what the teams actually look like. Wait and see closer to that and try and do it that way if you can. Right. Also, Josh Kelly news. So, I had a bit of a rampage yesterday. Josh Kelly, apparently, thank you for the people commenting as well. Apparently he was, ill or something or other, wasn't feeling great, and that possibly played a little bit more forward. So I am holding you to that. I am fingers crossed here for this round coming up, and hopefully that will go all well there. Just checking team announcements. Now, here we go. Team announcements. Here we go. Cunnington and Phillips in. Aiden Court injured. Bonar injured. Tyson admitted. Man, if you have Tyson, you have to now go pick up an Impey, I would go Warner or Impey, pick up someone else, or go Tex if you have the money. Mitch Wallace omitted. Not surprising. Man, he was killing that small sort of forward role with, tackle pressure. Omitted. Lopinski omitted. And that is crazy. So that means that McNeil must be playing. And he would have kept his spot in that side. Where is he? Oh, wow. Hang on, let's do this the real way. Let's do this. AFL.com.au. Wowee, I cannot believe this. Right. Where are the teams? Newsletter, matches, fixtures. Right. I can't believe that. Right. So now maybe, that's tough, man. That's tough. All right. So let's have a look. Across that back line. I prefer that footy. McNeil. Vladimir in the center. Wow, he's killing it. He's on the wing. All right, so good on him. JJ still can't get into the side, which is crazy. Chalor, Norton, Dunkley, English, Bruce, Bont, McRae, McNeil. Yeah, interchange. Right, so, and Scott. Scott keeps it, so no loophole there for those. Someone did mention I could hopefully have him, but happy days there. Wow, McNeil's playing, so that's an interesting one. If you don't have him already, not sure I'd go out of my way to get him, but that does give me a little bit of confidence, because realistically, they're winning this game, right? They're not losing to North Melbourne at all, ever in this scenario. Don't hold me to that, but ever. Which means he's probably playing next week as well. For a 102K rookie, he could actually have a really good game this week against North with an F. He could make you 100K. So if you have him, definitely hold him. I am now looking at that option. I could even go Braun down to McNeil, stuff Braun, and then I could actually just go straight up from Caldwell to Ridley. Not a bad move, keeping Lockie Neal. Still get my Ridman. That is an interesting play. Possibly smarter. I don't know if Braun's going to be named, though, so it's going to be one of those real risky ones where I'll have to do it early. Wow, and Dom Tyson emergency. I'd laugh if they made him as a as the the sub. That would be actually quite funny. I'm gonna have to hit up Corey from SC Elite just to hit him up there. All right, now what else have we got? Bonner injured. I wonder what the news is there, because if he's out for next. Oh no, I'm thinking of Core. Oh, Aiden Core injured. Yeah, so if he's injured next week, Tex Walker, come on down. Seriously, get amongst that. Scott LDU, good on him. Stevenson playing off the full forward pocket. Jeez. Taron Thomas, Will Phillips. Okay, so he's still on interchange. Tyson. Okay, so everything's looking pretty good there. Wow, that's some big news tonight. That is definitely some interesting news. Now, if this would actually just let me go back. All right, now let's look at the next one. Adelaide, who's changing? Burgess in, Harborough. Harborough makes sense for Butterick, sorry. Kelly and Brown back in. Murray omitted, so unlucky for those who picked him up. And Holman. Right, so nothing really surprising there. Wow, so that's the news out of the Dogs. All right, we got 1 hour and about 15 minutes, I think. So let me know what you're thinking. That is interesting. I'm going to have to do some deliberations right now and decide whether McNeil is a steal. He won't get dropped next week, fingers crossed. You would think not. You win, you would think that you don't get dropped if you win. So I'm hoping. But having those other two players dropped, Wallace and Lipinski dropped, McNeil and Scott keep their spot. Wowee, and JJ. So we're looking at Wallace, JJ, Lipinski not in their best 22. That's got to be a firecracker up anyone's backside if I've ever seen one. So who has McNeil? Let us know. Let us know how happy you are that he's playing 3 games in a row. 102k rookie. Geez, can't get much better than that. So they are the quickest to go up 100k. So quick. So let me know what you're thinking. And look, that wraps us up. SC Insider 100, Facebook, Twitter, on all the socials as well. Check us out, guys. And keep up the love, keep up that comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.